Hello, how you doing? I'm going to talk about Jamal Bryant. Now, I'm not very big on calling out people's name, but when they're very egregious, I will call out their name. But he has, I read about him in the news, all of his infidelities, etc., etc. He has come out with this new thing, sell weed in the church, as a way to attract black males. Now, I have problems with. A lot of people have problems with it. My opinion is that he really doesn't want to preach. I mean, that's just what my impression of him is. He doesn't really want to preach, but he doesn't have another skill set to keep him in the lifestyle that he's become accustomed. In other words, he's used to $800 or more suits. And who can do that but the church? Okay. I mean, what is he going to be, a motivational speaker? I mean, what else can he do? He abandoned the church in Baltimore, just left those people high and dry, abandoned all those people, all those young people who were just looking up to him for leadership. He abandoned them high and dry to go to the black sin capital of the United States, is Atlanta, but never mind. Okay. Now some guy from one of the neighborhoods in Baltimore cussed him out because he said you were disrespecting his neighborhood and so on and so forth. And Pastor David Manning, excuse me. Now, I don't always agree with Pastor David Manning, but he said he goes through that too. He tries to help black males and they cuss him out too. So that kind of reminded me of that. I think, look, he doesn't really know how to help black men, but nobody else does either. Nobody else does either. I mean, you got 12 and 15-year-olds smashing and grabbing. You got 12 and 15-year-olds carjacking people. 66-year-old woman, she's being dragged on the street and probably won't survive because of 12-year-old black males carjacking her car. And she got dragged. Now, where's he going to go with the car? Walgreens. Right. Okay. So he just said, look, I don't know. I think Jamal is saying, look, I don't know how to handle black male because they're so out of control. I don't understand them. So look, just give them some weed, okay? Just selling some weed. He doesn't know how to help poor people. A lot of people don't. You know what? That's why I study poverty. That's one reason why I study poverty. When I study poverty, I understand how to help poor people. You don't give them a fish. You teach them how to fish. But you do not give them a fish. That's what the Chinese say. You do not give them a fish. You teach them how to fish. So that's how you help the poor. When you help the poor, why not take the same resources and help for housing? Now, see, when you take a poor person, if you got to help them with everything. Okay, once you help them with housing, you got to help them with the first rent. You got to help them the first and last month deposit. That's going to be a whole big capital outlay. That's going to be a lot of money. You got to help them with furniture. You got to buy the shower curtain. You got to buy the dishes. That's going to be a whole lot of money. And you know what? It's an overwhelming task. It's daunting. It's a daunting task. And, he doesn't know how to handle black men because let's say if you help black men with housing, with the furniture and the rent and everything, then you got to teach him entrepreneurship. Then you have to teach him life skills, like how to handle himself if he gets into a disagreement. You essentially have to raise him all over again, which Jamal doesn't want to do, and nobody else wants to do that either. I mean, I told mine, I said, I'm not raising you twice. You're going to have to get it the first time. I don't raise any child twice, even though I saw it in my own family. I'm not going to raise any child twice. You got to get it the first time. I told mine, you got to get it the first time. I'm not raising you twice. It's a daunting task to raise a grown man twice. It's a daunting task. Okay. And I think he just doesn't want to do it, but nobody else wants to do it either. In his defense, nobody else wants to do it either. Nobody wants to raise a grown black man who possibly have been in prison anyway twice. Nobody wants to do that. Like I said, to help the black man is too big a task. I think that's what Jamal was saying. So look, Jamal was saying, look, give him some weed. Call it a day. I don't believe that. Okay. Now, what this other preacher said is that Jamal has a reprobate mind, which I agree with that. That's really reprobate to say that. Look, I don't know how to handle black men. I don't know how to help them, so just give them some weed. I mean, that is reprobate. I agree with that. I think Jamal has not learned how to keep his body under subjection. You know, the Apostle Paul said, I keep my body under subjection through much fasting and prayer. In other words, he's not going to let his body or his mind tell him what to do. Okay? In other words, he doesn't even trust himself. Look, I don't even trust myself. Okay? The Apostle Paul saying, look, I don't even trust myself. So I'm going to keep my body and mind under subjection through fasting and praying. And I don't hear Jamal doing that. Okay? Maybe he does in his private Bible study or whatever. I think he's basically preaching by the flesh. That's just what my opinion is. He's just going by the flesh. But like I said, I'm not even sure he even wants to be a preacher. My opinion, he doesn't want to be a preacher, but I could be wrong about that. But what else can he do? Well, I mean, what other skill set can he have to keep him in the lifestyle that he's become accustomed? But my opinion is, look, I'm going to tell you how you can help the black man. He's got a lot of land in his church. Go build houses and get those black men to build the house. Get those black men to build the townhouses, the apartment buildings. The black man needs some housing. So look, get them to build the apartments. Build an apartment complex. Get them to build it. Okay, once they have some money in the pocket, they'll go on with their lives. Okay, you can pray for them and teach them a new skill set and so on. And somewhere along the line, they should learn thou should not kill. And you know what? Sometimes it's too late. Like this one black man, he robbed this place and then somebody shot him dead. So he never learned thou shalt not steal. Even though he looked like he was, 20, 30, in his 20s or 30s? I don't know. He never learned, as old as he is, thou shalt not steal. And it cost him his life. They're going to hell. Just that easy. So some people are never going to learn thou shalt not kill. Thou shalt not steal. They're not going to learn while they're on this earth, but they're going to learn it in the next life. Okay, because they're going to come face to face with Satan. And Satan says, the reason why you're down here because you stole something. And I don't like you anyway. That's what Satan's going to tell them. Okay? But I don't agree with Jamal Bryant saying that. I don't agree with that. Bye.